All right, we're doing this. Welcome to another episode of the Blathering Live. Today's the day. All right, can we push through? Coming up on the show tonight, Mike Beatrice is going to swing by shortly. We're going to talk about the America Gold Card, the Trump Gold Card. Do you want to be an America Plus member? It's a replacement for the EB-5 visa program. We're talking about that. Mostly just joke about it. I'm not an expert on the EB-5 visa program. It's existed for 35 plus years or so. You want to invest in a business? Get in this country. But now we have a sales pitch for you. America Plus membership. What will that get you? Mike Beatrice is going to help you with that in a little bit. At 17:30, I think I'm just going to take a nap. I think that's what's good. And then we'll come back for 60 seconds of science. Dr. Addy's in tonight. And we're going to see if there's any hope in the news and the science world. Top of the hour, I think we have some sports. I think we're going to complete our date with hockey. 6:15 or later. If you got any super chats for me and some questions, we call them super blathers. That's what we'll do. I think my fan. Let me see. God damn it! I could fly a DC-10 with the fan going on to this laptop. That's affected every sound thing I've had to do in the last week to 3 weeks. So if anyone wants to, I don't know if I can have you at my house. My dog would kill you. But maybe we'll meet in an alley in Burbank, and you can fix my laptop for me. Anyone want to come fix my laptop fan for me? Because I'm about ready to chuck this laptop. I don't have any working, 100% working laptops. As you can tell, I'm grouchy today. Not at the world. There's always something to be grouchy out of the world. I took the last 2 days from just kind of fretting, and I was kind to myself. Yesterday I was kind to myself, and it was really nice. It was relaxing. Today I had a list of things unrelated to the show that I was going to do. I have to cross off host the Blathering. I did all the things I wanted to do today. And it was a little hot today in LA. It was like 80 degrees. And I just, some technical stuff going on today. I dropped some stuff. This cord, I fucking hate cords. But also wireless things kind of can't be trusted sometimes when you're streaming and stuff like that. I fucking ripped a cord off. Anything that you buy that says stick to the wall, permanently sticks, adhesive from space, is a fucking lie. And things were falling off today. And then I went to mail 2 books. Thank you for purchasing books. Thank you, Malcolm, who's usually here in chat, leaves a nice super blather, and Rich Rodriguez. Books on the way to you. James from UK. I have to wait probably one more week until I get your damn book over to the UK. God, I should have sent it with Trump. I should have called up Trump and said, hey, big fan, loved your fake assassination. Could you take this book over to the UK for me? Don't open it. Oh, man. Cameron got his book. Thank you, Cameron. I saw that. Cameron got his book. That's your dog. I got Vermont Mike. That's a good comment. That's a funny one. Anyways, and I went to, now I'm just bitching at this point. Mike Beatrice on the show here in about 5 minutes to save me. Mike Beatrice, always the smartest, most insightful comic in the room. It doesn't mean he or I were successful. It just means we were smarter than the other comics on stage who made it way farther than us because they're dummies. Not all of them. That's Mark Ellis is smarter than me too. I went to go mail 2 books today, and it took 45 minutes. I don't go to the post office. I have a P.O. box. Well, it's not even a P.O. box. It's actually an address. It's a mailbox. I don't have a P.O. box. But try explaining that when you're filling in a form that's like P.O. Box. You put box 728. Says we don't accept P.O. boxes. Well, it's not a P.O. box. It's an address. It's a box at a spot. Oh, no, but no P.O. boxes. Anyways, 45 minutes maybe. The girl working there is a sweetheart. It's not that problem. It's just she's often the only one there. The boss is not often around now. She's really good. She's really fast. And some dude. I walked in and he had just come on into the little store there, little mailbox center, with 9 packages from his business. I respect it. I'm mailing packages for my business. And he was a nice enough dude. He had a red hat on. He had a red baseball cap on, mesh, trucker hat vibe, but it was all red. And I didn't want to make eye contact. He was talking to a girl. He didn't turn around. And he had a big, like 6x6 pickup truck that was taking up 2 spaces in the parking lot. And I don't immediately judge everyone with those kind of trucks, but if you have those kind of trucks and you're not like on a farm or you don't have some, property you're managing or something like that, chances are you care less about the people around you and don't mind taking up space, and therefore you vote MAGA. It's just the Venn diagram's it's tight. It's small. See the red hat on. 45 goddamn minutes for his packages for some bit. Who knows what his business was? I don't care. Porcelain kitties. I don't know. And I'm just grumpy today. I'm grumpy today because of all this. So we're going to Rich T's with me. Rich T's with me. Yeah, you hate those trucks. They're all over the place now. It's just there's a type. There's a type, and I've ranted. One of the earliest episodes of Blathering was like kind of a Patreon only. I went for a walk one night in my neighborhood, and there was one of those houses, and they had like 4. I'm not kidding. 4 of those like big giant work trucks, Ford F650s, whatever the fuck they are. I don't care. And they parked them, and they took up the whole like 3 houses on their street. And again, that seemed to be intentional. Like there's some sort of business. I get you need a work truck. I have some friends, my hometown, you might have a house out in the wilderness, and it's not a sweeping judgment. But often there's a Blue Lives Matter flag on it. There's an American flag on it, which I'm immediately suspicious. Not that we need to take the American flag back from these people, but if you've got an American flag on your 6x6 Ford 950 truck with a step ladder to get up to it, chances are you don't care enough about even the roads you're squishing. The car bloat is real, and we're breaking the roads underneath our feet. You don't care enough to vote what I think would be the right way. All right, so that's kind of that. Michael McCarthy says, I frequently want to leave aggressive notes on trucks like that. It's like I don't assume. Look, I know like a handful of people that bought Teslas years ago or a couple years ago. And I say even a couple years ago, suspect, but here we are now. And now we're in this Tesla takedown. A lot of people are saying, sell your Teslas. Now my question is, I guess sell them back to the dealership? Is that, I guess you can just do that. So I don't automatically assume every time I see a Tesla that person is against me when it comes to politics. But I do think with the Cybertruck, you're making a real conscious decision at this time to look like a douchebag, and not even politically. It looks like a goddamn coffin on wheels. All right, let's get to it here because he's a dad. He's probably got 2 dogs and a kid, or 3. He's got 2. He could have a 3rd one by now. I don't know. We started doing comedy 20 years ago. But welcome to the show, my buddy, yours, Mike Beatrice. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I've lost track. It's like 2-ish.
2-ish kids?
I think, give or take.
Okay.
Sorry, it's really hard to.
Yeah.
It's the time of year. I need to figure it out though, because I need to claim them on my taxes.
Yeah, my tax appointment's at the end of March. I'm trying to see if I can claim a Chihuahua. You got how many dogs now, too?
Well, me, I have 1. Fenway.
You have 1. Fenway. Right. Yes.
He wears a red collar, but that's just it looks good on his black coat. It's not.
Well, but your dog's name is Fenway, so I'm going to hope that there's some sort of Boston red somewhere on it.
Yeah, you would think so, right?
Yeah. Mike, we are talking today a little bit, like not in detail. This isn't the, for anyone out there listening, this isn't the deep dive into immigration policies and everything.
Yeah,
I couldn't escape. And I watched the clip again before the show. Trump sits down. He's got RFK Jr., who, by the way, no, I'm not a fan. Used to be a fan of his wife. Used to be. I love watching his facial expressions as he sits back there behind Trump. It's hard to deny, Mike, that there's a little bit of a "I sold my soul for this" vibe.
He did not look happy about the turning the Oval Office into the Home Shopping Network. Did not seem thrilled by it.
Trump was hawking his new merchandise in the Oval Office.
Yep. Everything must go.
Everything must go. And RFK Jr. is thinking, my uncle used to get blowjobs at that desk. What are you doing to it? What are you doing to it? But among the things
we live in.
Yeah, it's strange times indeed. I felt for like 2 seconds connected with RFK Jr. With the expressions making. Anyways, Trump announced the Trump Gold Card, which is comical. But you were right. We were texting Mike, and this is replacing, or whether it will replace or proposed. And they gave him the big crayon for him to sign the executive order.
Right.
He looks like he's having so much fun playing grown up when he signs those. But the EB-5 visa program is something that's existed for a while. This isn't necessarily new. It's this trumped up version, pun intended, Mike. Did you?
I was, on the one hand, because you said you weren't an expert on this. None of us were until the gold card was announced. And then like overnight, like I didn't know, like, oh, there was already a program. Let me read up on this because this seems relevant. But then you look, and we're not doing a deep dive. We agreed to that. But you go back, like since day one, there were robber barons, people coming over, people greasing the wheels and coming in. It's not like it's new.
No.
It's just the worst, most like game show cheapening of it ever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like again, this goes to the conversation too of the system, the quote unquote system, capital T, capital S, has not been functioning right since the beginning of time. That's human nature, power, money, greasing the wheels, nothing new. So when you show up on the scene and say, I'm going to drain the swamp, I understand how that connected with some folks. That makes a lot of sense. Totally. But it's like with the Elon stuff. And the fraud and everything. Yeah, there's real fraud in there. Or we could just tax the billionaires at a rate that we tried to do in the 50s. So there was loopholes around that as well. And this gold card thing was just, wow, we're out in front, just game showing it up, like you said.
Yeah. And I mean, the gold, it's I know he loves his gold, Donald Trump, but I have an American Express gold card, which should just tell you exactly how worthless that is. Like they phased out the green card. Now the gold card is the one they just give you if you're a degenerate like me.
And no Visa black cards for me or anything. American Gold Black. And then you got what's his name, Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, just say, hey, we'll charge $5 million because the big sticking point was the previous one too cheap. We're going to make them pay, and $5 million. Then we'll put that back towards the debt, as if any of us believe that $5 million is going to go anywhere near the debt from our country.
And the previous one, at least there was a semblance of it was worthwhile. Like, yes, you were getting in quicker, maybe, but you had the ability. You had to make an invest. And I'm reading. This is not off the top of my head. You have to make the necessary investment in a commercial enterprise in the U.S. and plan to create or preserve 10 permanent full-time jobs for qualified U.S. workers. When it wasn't just about having the money or being in tight or buying brunch at Mar-a-Lago, there was something behind it.
Yeah, I doubt. But you and I were talking, and maybe the point of the call is what should your American Plus membership get? $5 million. Maybe because I'd like to sign up. Maybe we all can apply for the program.
Yeah. I mean, give me $5 million, I'll make room. I'll leave.
Like,
give me the exit visa and $5 million. I'm out.
We just that's a great idea. Oh, that's a great idea. I'll take that deal. You give me $5 million to go settle in Bergen, Norway.
Right. Right.
Speed up the
Absolutely.
process over there.
Yeah. It does feel a little bit like these people that do this, you know, whatever they're going to get. It feels a little bit like any immigrant coming in right now is like Leonardo DiCaprio getting that last minute ticket on the Titanic. Like, oh, we made it. It's going to be awesome. And no, it's silly. No, it's bad time.
Cut to you and me as the chef in the end of the boat, just drink it as it goes down as best we
Right.
can.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
here's I'm sure you have some. Here's what I think you're going to get with the gold card membership. I think, and there's perks. Like there's always perks. And I think the first perk would be that Lauren Baber will give you a hand job at the Broadway musical of your choice.
That's bottom level.
That's on there.
That's bottom level.
Yeah, you got to get that.
Could you also get a walking tour of DC on where to put pipe bombs with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah.
Free for every purchase. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And God bless who's given her the pedicures. Like God.
What else is on your list?
I haven't seen feet like that since the exhibit at the Natural History Museum. But,
hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike. That was what we call a home run.
Yeah. You when you get the gold card, one of the delayed perks is that in just a few short years, your kids will be terrible at math and have measles. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you should get a free shot of measles with every purchase. Yeah.
When they
just
host
help spread
it. When they host you at Mar-a-Lago, every morning at brunch, you will be getting bottomless ivermectin. All you can drink.
All you can drink ivermectin right next to your OJ. And what I can only imagine are runny eggs at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's not been one photo of the buffet at Mar-a-Lago with that oaf getting his plate stuffed at the omelet bar that makes me think, yeah, this isn't any better than Coral Cafe in Burbank.
And you remember what everybody was eating at the Trump Hotel in D.C. So I'm just picturing down at Mar-a-Lago, the prime rib bar. There's prime rib, but it is extra well done.
Mm-hmm.
And served with ketchup.
Ketchup burnt to a crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this, Ken. Apparently, if you get the gold card, J.D. Vance will drive over in his pickup truck and help you and your family move. It was nice.
Just
gives him something to do.
Yeah, he's got nothing else going on other than to cater to far right extremists in Germany that lose elections.
By the way, doing this with you is great. It feels like we're on staff somewhere writing an old school top 10 list.
We're pitching to some disinterested host who's ready to retire.
Yeah. Did you know that each gold card member gets to pick one championship team for 1 year for one league? The exception is that it can never, ever be the Buffalo Bills.
Love this. Absolutely love that. And I think you also should get like 20 shots on your golf score at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
But no more, no leads in front of the president, of course.
Right. You can never, right. Exactly.
He's got permanent membership.
Almost win. Since it's never coming out, gold card immigrants can meet with George R.R. Martin, and he will read to you the plot of Winds of Winter.
You just opened up like celebrity endorsement, like it's a charity. Oh, it's a great idea.
Oh my God. I think the gold card immigration thing, it's like make a wish for rich people who aren't sick.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You get to do one Mission Impossible stunt with Tom Cruise of your choosing.
Right.
The end of Game of Thrones with George R. R. Martin. You meet his favorite restaurant in Santa Fe. I like this a lot. What, you get to read George Lucas's treatments for 7, 8, and 9.
Absolutely.
Can't take them out of the room, but you get to read them. You get to read them right there.
You get the Blu-ray DVD set of the unmolested Star Wars trilogy.
Yes.
Get
the originals.
With all apologies to Nick Cage, you get to cross out any signature on the Declaration of Independence and add your name.
Oh, that's a genius idea, Mike. That is perfect. Again, yeah. You get to go in to the Declaration now, and One Sharpie. You got 2 minutes to sign your name, but permanently remove someone else from it.
Exactly. This one's fun. Once you're here, you get to live in that underground community from the show Paradise.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that show yet?
No.
Oh, spoiler.
No. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, there's an underground. Okay, that's fine. You know, I didn't watch Lost either. I know there's a Lost bunker.
Yeah. Okay. I can't see the comments right now, but I'm hoping the Blathering chat stars have seen the Paradise. You get full access to the secret supply of Coca-Cola that still has cocaine in it.
Oh yeah,
just like Donald Trump's Diet Coke does.
Do you think they keep that locked up somewhere? Do you think that? Yeah, that's really important, Alex. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. That's what's important, Alex.
That's what's important. That's what they're trying to find out. That's what Doja's looking for.
You know how the McDonald's ice cream machine never works?
It
actually does work, but only for gold card citizens who know the secret password.
Yeah. So you pull the card out, and then they go to the back room where the ice cream is always on. Welcome to America. The ice cream's always on. Perfect.
Now there is a perk for people that don't quite make the $5 million cutoff. Aspiring immigrants who can't afford to pay $5 million, they can still earn their citizenship by completing a week-long bow hunting course at Ted Nugent's Michigan ranch. And here's how it works. Ted gets the bow and arrow, and the immigrant gets a T-shirt with a target on it and a 5-minute head start.
1 minute per each million that you spend.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, which might open up the America Premium card. If 10 million for 10 minutes.
I silenced everything in my house, but I forgot my daughters had their iPads here, and that's what was ringing in the background if you didn't hear it.
That's fine. Eventually, my mom usually calls once during a live stream. For some reason, I have her phone out as, past all the sound bars, things that I've put on it there.
Anyways. What other notes I had? You get to take, this is a little vulgar, but you get to take your first American dump in Trump's gold toilet and wipe your butt with a piece of the Constitution, the amendment of your choice. You can just get it in there. And
do they just have pages there? Is it pre-ripped up Constitution?
Yeah, I think so.
On a roller?
Yeah, like a Kleenex box.
There you go. Do you get free access to the gold idols that Trump's going to put in Trump Gaza as he put that out there?
Yeah.
You get to go now. You get to go back, I guess. You get to leave the country again to go enjoy drinks on the beach in Gaza with Netanyahu and Trump per that wonderful AI art that he shared, the promo video for Trump Gaza.
That was something.
Cameron starts, amendment of your choice is crazy. That's right.
And then finally, and I'm not sure this is a perk, but for all gold card wives, Trump gets prima nocta.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
Not sure that's a selling point, but I don't know. They seem to like them.
They like it. It's good. This is how we're going to raise money.
Yeah.
So there you go. We've solved immigration and the debt just by creating perks.
I think what we just said is if you're going to do it all the way and just have all these perks that,
Yeah, if we're going to lean in, that's exactly kind of my thought here. If the system kind of already existed, but we're plussing it up, we're razzing up. I don't know if you watch Sandwiches of History, but we're going to plus it up there. This is the way to go. And I think your list should be. We should go public with it. We're going public with it now, but we should put it down and put it in the idea box, the White House.
Hey, you when we were talking about RFK Jr. a minute ago, you made me think. The movie Cobra with Stallone, where he's ready, and the famous line is crime's a disease and I'm the cure.
Yeah.
What do you think RFK lands on that? Is he for that cure or no? Is he pro Stallone or not pro Stallone?
Well, he has to be. He has to be now. They're on the same team. Stallone and Mel Gibson are handling Hollywood, right? And wasn't someone else on that team of Hollywood, the Hollywood czars, whatever that is?
Yeah.
So yeah. I think
you don't want Stallone to inject you. I think is where the cutoff is.
Yeah. You absolutely don't want to do that. Mike, I appreciate you swinging by, taking time from raising your children to have fun on the internet. Anything else going on before I let you go?
This is a fun pop-in. I love doing this. I love you, Ken, and it's great to be
Oh.
here. And hi to everybody that's in the comments.
I was just thinking today, man. I was like, you take for granted the passage of time, but I met you in 2004.
Yeah.
21 years, buddy.
Yeah.
And look where we are.
We're dreaming the life, Ken. We're dreaming the life.
Brandon reminded me. John Voight was the other one.
Yeah, John Voight.
There you go. You know, you pitch a lot in this town, Mike. You've pitched over the years. You sit down with Stallone, Voight, and Gibson. You know, you got to have some stories to pitch to them. You got to prepare for that.
Yeah, just whatever whatever you've written, you flip the heroes and the villains, and that's how you pitch it to them.
There you go. That's exactly what they're doing.
Thank you, buddy. See you soon.
Thank you, Mike. Mike Beatrice, everybody. Give Mike a follow on Blue Sky for his funny and insightful stuff. Yeah, Mike and I started, I don't know when Mike started doing comedy. Michael Beatrice, as he used to be billed on stage there. But I started in 2003. I started hooking up with the Room 5 White Boy Comedy crew around 2000, late 2000, early 2004. And, Mike was one of the only ones that was really nice to me early on. That's why we became friends and still are. Thank you, Mike, for coming in on that one there. The gold card is in effect. Well, not in effect. That's the thing, too. A lot of these things being put out there. One of the only slivers of hope is the courts holding some of these things up, and it seems to be a tennis ball game with the courts and all that stuff. Though I got to tell you, yesterday was one of those days. Where I, like I said, I was kind to myself, and I absolutely just disconnected from the news as well. Absolutely disconnected from the news as well. Where it was just nice to. It's not about unplugging or ignoring. Just like today, I even got a candy bar. That's what it was today. Thanks, Mike. Be smarter. You're the one. You're in there saying vote for Jill Stein. Probably one of the least smartest things anyone can do. She shows up every 4 fucking years to ruin the election. There's no chance of the Green Party winning on a national level. We got to go down to the communities if you want to do it. So no, absolutely not. Not going to do that. Vermont Mike, Ken says, Rich says, I may have that sport. What was being a stand-up comic always your goal as a kid? Did you become one later? Or was it just something you figured out you'd be good at and tried? No, I think I wanted to start doing stand-up around 18. After my baseball career ended at 14, 15 range. And I wanted to go to Toronto for whatever reason. I was obsessed with the idea of doing comedy in Toronto because I was a big Kids in the Hall fan. And they had a Second City place up there. And I thought about it, then, I just didn't know how to get over there. LA, 2 hours away, but I didn't immediately stand up is scary, still is scary. And it took me a while, and a couple good friends of mine, Peter Sprite and Brian Keith Etheridge, who were, in my final Groundlings class together. They were like, hey, after it kind of ended, I need you to, you should consider doing stand up. You should absolutely consider doing, stand up. And I didn't know how to wrap my brain around it. And then my director of the Groundlings, Karen Mariyama, said, oh, that'd be great for you. I'd love to see your point of view and your perspective on the world. And that kind of unlocked the idea of how to do it. And it's only taken 22 years to even figure out what I'm even doing on stage. So there you go. Tully had a question here earlier, and I wanted to bring it up here. Light question. What's the difference between a sketch and a skit? And why are some comics so sensitive about it? The difference is sketch is what a professional does. Skit is what you do on Sunday morning at your church group or vacation Bible school or with your friends. It's gotten to the point where I've even heard professionals say skit. And it's one of those things where I'm not going to bang the gong on it like I used to back in the day. But yeah, it's always joke with my comedy friends or Mark Ellis. He'll go up, at the store and I'll text him, hey, how was the set tonight? Did your little skits go good? It's always comes off as disparaging and condescending, even when people don't intend it to be. So that's why I don't take it personal. Someone's like, oh, what was your favorite skit? It's fine. But, sketch comedy especially when I was doing the groundling stuff, like, yeah, man, I used to write 13 or 14 a week. And so you could throw them up on Saturday and you're driving all around town and you're pulling everything out of your soul to write. And it's like, sketch just felt more appropriate. I don't even know where it comes from. Like, it didn't even matter to me where it comes from. It's just one of the things you're kind of taught early on. So it became kind of a running gag almost. Yeah, Svetnik says, we did skits and Boy Scouts, and it's not the same thing. Absolutely. Vermont Mike had some great comments, by the way. 5 million should get someone the gold card, gold Trump shoes, the Bible gift pack. Ooh, that's like a good welcome pack. It's like the NPR membership for billionaires. Love that. Autograph photos of Scott Baio and Dana White as well. And I want to shout out Svetnik keeping on his membership here. Be a channel member. But so Tully, I don't. It's like it's one of those things I used to joke about when Schmoes first emerged in like 2012 into 2013 on like on a bigger scale. All the hot takes we had, we tried to get out there, and that was one of them. That just kind of became a little bit of an identity. Same with the headphones things, though. That's kind of changed as well. I worry less about the headphones. Good stuff there. We are going to get to 60 seconds of science in a little bit, but I got some calls coming in here as well, and that means I got to have the call setting. And on this grumpy day, Jared the Time Pilot is here. How are you, buddy? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I feel you on the grumpy day. It's a rainy day here in the Massachusetts, so
is it?
Yeah.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. They actually make me feel better. But yes. So you feel me. You catch me. You catch my drift.
Always.
What's the scoop? What's the question? What dare I say are you going to ask me?
Well, I got two ways we can do this call. I have a request of one way because I've got a big football thing, but I'm wondering if producer Steve is already available and if he could jump in, because I'd love to get both of your thoughts on this.
Okay. I'll get a break. Steve.
Okay.
Steve, thumbs up. I'm not in audio for right now. Steve's face we'll see at the top of the hour. All right, Steve, you're here, right?
I'm here.
Okay.
All right.
You, Jared, we're listening.
All right. So I have always noticed or just like started to think there's a certain play style in football that seems to always work, whether it's actually in the NFL or if I'm just playing a video game or even watching Ken play the video game back in the day. And I feel like it is not utilized enough. And that is the short pass. Because think about it. When you get down to those fourth quarter 2-minute warnings, down by a score, what makes the team drive the field 90% of the time, if not more? Short passes. So it's one of those, why not continue that? It perplexes me because I can't think of another play in any other of the main sports where I feel like this particular play always works. But with football, the short pass, I'm like 5 yards at most kind of pass. Help me out, fellas.
Steve, I'll let you slide in here. You might have a broader perspective on it, but as a Miami Dolphin fan, I'm screaming at you. All we did last year was dump off passes for 2 yards and hope our running backs got beyond it. But I think the vibe you're asking for is a little bit different. Yeah. Teams can get addicted to the speed, to the home run, or, if you got an Eagles team, you got a running back that can't miss. I guess you're going to hand off a lot more there too. I miss the run, but, anyways, as a Dolphin fan, that's all I saw last year because we didn't have a running game. So teams could come up on us on defense there. Steve, am I off?
Not at all. Football is a game of matchups. So it really just comes down to what does your team do well that the other team doesn't defend well against. And so a lot of time, if you're playing against a team that is really, really good on run defense, you're going to try to pass the ball, stuff like that. So that's why a lot of teams have to have balance on offense.
Sure.
So the other thing is, and why something like short passing isn't exploited more than you would think, oh, it's so easy. Why don't we just do it instead of throwing the ball 30 yards on the field all the time? The whole league is so good that as soon as someone gets good at something, everything is an arms race. So everything gets, as soon as offense figures something out, the defense is not too far behind the next season. So I think, its styles of play differ around 32 different teams. You're right that they're more efficient, but the stat nerds will tell you, yeah, but for like a little bit less of a probability for it to work, I could throw a 40-yard ball and get a touchdown. So that's why you don't see it all.
Okay. See, Steve's smarter than me, Jared. Does that answer work for you?
It does, because it's like I said, I was actually just playing a random football, like an older Madden game. I basically just steamrolled on a higher level by just doing short crossing routes
That's
constantly.
because man coverage is broken in video games.
I do love. I'm with you, Jared. I've always thought I could run an NFL offense. I'm pretty good at Madden, but yeah, I do enjoy that. It does, because that's all I would throw. I'd throw by the end of my Madden 24 run. I was throwing 3 passes. Like after I stopped streaming, because you guys watched me last time I was streaming. I was struggling to learn the next higher level. I couldn't not win a Super Bowl. And I just got a little bored with the game because there was 3 passes. One was Tyreek over the middle for about 2 yards that would turn to 50 every time. And this is like on the advanced level. So but that's what the Dolphins did in 2023. We were an explosive offense that the league hadn't seen in a while. Didn't get us anywhere because of Kansas City and 10-degree weather. But then this year, every team was like exactly like Steve said. Okay, great. We're going to take away everything from you, and you're going to have to figure out a new way to do it. And look at it. Look at me. Look at us.
All right.
All right.
But I wasn't crazy for the thought, though.
Go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I'm not crazy for the thought, though, right? Like, I had some logic in there, maybe?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all crazy.
I mean, look, I can tell you for about 30 minutes in the late 2000s, I thought the Dolphins had solved everything. We're going to the Super Bowl every year because the Wildcat worked for 30 minutes. And I watched everyone in the league. I watched Bill Belichick just be like, I give up. I don't even know. On to Cincinnati. Like, it was great. And then it lasted about 2 weeks. So, All right. Steve's going back to the bullpen. You need anything more for producer Steve?
No, that was great.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Look forward to hockey.
The hockey day coming up. All right. Appreciate that. 60 seconds of science coming up at 45. 45 past the hour, everybody. Sports and weather after that. But what else, Jared, that I got a call from Brennan? How you doing?
We can move on to Brendan. I won't take up all the night here because
I respect it. I respect it.
You know how we get, because I'll bring up Game of Thrones and then it'll be a 20-minute segment that you'll cut out later.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did a test, so thank you. I love your Game of Thrones questions. I'll say this: Alden and I have some time set tomorrow between any time, and I got a Force Center charity stream at 2:00 tomorrow my time. We're going to talk about a plan I have for Casterly Talk. And which we might need your talents to come up with some good what ifs and questions. But I did that clip out finally. It took me a couple days, but I got around to it. And I made the thumbnail, and I went and found Emilia Clarke at the solo premiere. And I flashed back. I was like, I remember that dress. Because I turned the corner, and there we go. But then beyond her was that tri-tip. And I got to tell you, it was fucking good tri-tip, man. I watched Lawrence Kasdan go, by the way, only people to go back to the tri-tip for seconds were me and Lawrence Kasdan, and we just piled up. It was amazing. It was a fun day.
See, people need to respect food more in fancy public settings. People get to a fancy public setting and think they shouldn't be, no. Stuff that gullet, people.
Jared, I'm going to let you go. I got Brendan coming up here, but you've just touched, this is why we're buddies. I am the king of I'll take the last bread roll. I'll take the last shrimp. Let me go get that cheeseburger off the platter at a wedding because they're going to bring more. And they won't until it's gone. I'm a hero.
Boom. All right. Look forward to Brendan. Love you guys.
There you go. I'm a goddamn hero. That's what I am. Addie's coming in here shortly for 60 seconds of science. I don't even know if it's a good week. I saw she posted something. I didn't even go on Blue Sky much today, and I was going to promote the show. I was screaming at my computer over a wire issue. It's just frustrating. But anyways, before we do that, we're going to check in with our buddy Brendan Marr. Brendan calling into the show as always. Happy to have you here, Brendan. What's going on, my friend?
Well, thanks to Jared for giving up his time to me.
Yeah, I was going to cut him off, and he was probably drunk. Let's be honest.
Well, I can understand that.
That's what's on your mind,
I
Brennan.
mean,
How can I-
to me, it's always like some nice sparkling apple cider.
Oh, good.
I don't drink.
Well, but there's hold on. There's a lot of sugar in apple
Oh, yes.
ciders.
Oh, yes.
Do you enjoy like a Martinelli's?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's
See-
my thing.
See, I've had. Do you ever get bread? And then I'll gladly take your question. Do you ever get like the grape flavored Martinelli's?
No, I like
Okay.
the apple. Just
Okay.
kind.
Once my roommates and I, we just like early 2000s, we went up to, we each got like the grape ones and popped it, and we all down, like not like it was a contest. We were just sitting around probably watching Survivor or something. And I got sugar drunk and pretty much, I think, passed out of a coma. It was so much
I
sugar.
don't think that's
It was
ever
so good.
happened to me yet.
Okay, that's good. I was just checking. Anyways, buddy, you got a question? What's on your mind? Here to answer.
Well, I guess I hi to Eli in the chat there.
There you go.
Buddy Eli, hello. Well, I
Eli's
have
there.
this crazy controversial idea.
Okay.
With all this stuff going on in the country right now, one of the things I'm actually worried about, and this is going to sound crazy, is
Okay.
religious freedom.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it's a crazy idea because at the moment, churches are free. In fact, one might say too free right now.
I wouldn't mind taxing a few, but
Mhm.
but especially those that are explicitly politically active. But yeah, I'm listening. I don't think this is crazy, Brennan.
I think that some of the. Well, thank you, Cameron. That's very kind of you. Nothing. He says I can't say anything crazier than what's already going on.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I'm concerned that these nationalistic so-called Christians.
Correct.
Let me just be honest. They say they're Christian. They're not.
Right.
Let's call a spade a spade. I mean,
Sure. I agree.
But
With you.
I'm concerned that they're going to mess it up so badly that every one of the religious persuasion is going to suffer because they make everyone look bad.
Well, they do. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
it could swing. Yeah, basically, and I don't know if I'm. I mean, this is a great question, great thought. I want to make sure I'm meeting you at it where it's like my thought, my fear is, or my frustration is that it's this. Trump's launched this this department, whatever, that's going to investigate Christian bias.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, over throughout the history, there's been Christian persecution. I accept that as a fact. But to say it's going on in a country that is predominantly Christian, that we have to, not have
that's
to.
kind of alarmist attitude.
It's alarmist attitude, and we know we have Easter and we have Christmas. It all boils down to me, and it's more complicated than this. But it's that Merry Christmas argument of I'm not telling you to stop celebrating Christmas or even saying it. I'm just saying maybe you got to be aware of the other major holidays people might celebrate, or none of the holidays people celebrate. I'm asking you, much like the truck thing up top, I'm asking you to consider other people in the room. And that's the base level entry door into the conversation for me, where the worry I have is that they'll persecute all the other religions or ideas, or even the idea to not be religious, and that it could cause, I don't know how far they'll go with legislation or anything that I don't want to get too worked up on because it might not be possible, but you know what I mean.
I guess the concern would be is that they would blow it so badly that eventually people of religious persuasion would suffer because of the actions of a minority that makes the rest of us look really bad.
Yeah. And that's why I push hard for wonderful folks like you to continue to do what you're doing, which is to speak out of it, even though, you have your own beliefs and your own system and your own way to live. You're here hanging with a bunch of us with different beliefs and speaking up for maybe our rights or maybe speaking up for the other people. And I think
Yeah.
I push for more of that. And maybe that's where I poke the hardest in my own life, and it bleeds through on the show here. But a lot of people in my past, where I'm like, just like, I don't, I stopped reading the Bible years ago. Apparently, you did too. And I appreciate your perspective, Brennan, to come in here and
I read
always
it all the
push
time,
against that.
actually.
Yeah.
I read it all the time, actually. Look at what it actually says.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Michael, in the comments. Yeah,
Mike.
At the moment, discrimination against Christians isn't a problem. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Down the road, that could change.
It could. Yeah. Michael said in chat. Yeah, let me read Michael's comment. Considering the fact that the major Christian holidays are federal holidays that people get off work for, I'll go ahead and say Christian discrimination isn't a thing in the U.S. Yes.
Yeah, not at the moment. I'm just afraid that.
And Michael's
Christian nationalists are gonna eventually ruin it for the rest of us.
It's a longer conversation. We got Addy with 60 seconds of science queued up, but it's part of my frustration
Science is good.
Yeah, when you watch, like, forget even the Trump of it all, it's impossible to forget that. But when you watch a Mike Johnson, when you watch a Josh Hawley, when you watch a Marjorie Taylor Greene or a Lauren Boebert sell the idea that they're answering God's call to do it, and you believe it because, I don't know, fear, because you don't want to upset the norms in your life. That's my question I have for a lot of the Christians out there.
And then there's Fox News running around saying Christians are being discriminated against.
It's
nonsense.
It goes back to the war on Christmas thing. It just goes back to the war on Christmas thing.
People like Marjorie Taylor Greene make the rest of us look bad.
And by that you mean humans, just humans in general.
Humans look bad. Yes.
Brendan, I appreciate you as always. Okay, buddy.
That's something I'm concerned about, but Yep.
Well, hey,
you never know what the future holds.
You're always welcome at this table, and you know that.
Thank you.
All right. Brennan Mystical Mar, everybody check it in. I agree with that. I think that's part of the thing that baffles me every day. And that, I don't know. We'll see how far it goes. All right. On that note, we're going to go to 60 seconds of science. And we are, wait, let me make sure. Oh, cool. Sounds up. Sorry, I thought I pressed the wrong button. Addie's here. Hi, Addie. How are you?
I'm awake.
Up and not crying, right? That's where we're at.
Up and not crying. Been up since 3 a.m. I'm awake. It's fine.
3 a.m. Okay. So that's never good.
No, it's not.
It's never a, hey, I couldn't go to sleep, but I just got up and completed all the work I needed to work at 3 a.m. and here I am. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm here, and it's not good, but I am here.
All right. It's not good in the science.
I wanted to find good news, Ken. I wanted so badly to just come in and be like, puppies, rainbows, unicorns have been discovered. It's brilliant. And,
okay, well, one of these days, there's got to be some advancements in puppy science. We'll find it. I have hope.
I hope so too. I do. So I've got a couple things tonight, and then I just want to say at the top so that we don't forget at the end. Yeah. I have one thing I want to make sure we plug at the end.
Okay.
To bring to people's attention, but otherwise, when you are ready.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Dr. Addie is here, as she is every week with 60 seconds of science. Let's hit it. No timer. It's 60 seconds-ish. Go.
The FDA canceled a meeting scheduled to advise on strains to include in next year's flu shot. The timing is worrying because it's a 6-month production cycle for manufacturing the vaccine, and many vaccine doses rely on fertilized chicken eggs for production. The cancellation has led to fears that the vaccine is being interfered with by RFK Jr. Scientists at an Italian university have used the brain of a Roman citizen to explain what happened in Herculaneum, a city north of Pompeii that was also destroyed by Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE. The man's brain was turned to glass, which has led researchers to believe a hot ash cloud killed these people, not the pyroclastic flow believed to have killed those in Pompeii. NASA climate scientists were not allowed to travel to China for a meeting of the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. At the meeting, countries are set to agree on the outlines for 3 sections of the next report due in the end of the decade. Though the US scientists can still participate at this volunteer gathering without financial support, it may be difficult. The IPCC is also reportedly scrambling to find a developed country to fill the role of the US's report, the role of the US in the report's development. And finally, several colleges and universities have been forced to cancel summer research experiences for undergraduate students due to withdrawals from the NSF, National Science Foundation support. These programs historically served as important opportunities for groups historically underrepresented in science to participate in summer research experiences. Additionally, many universities have halted graduate school admissions as funding uncertainty looms. And that is 60 Seconds of Science. Ken, where would you like to go?
First of all, home run. Man, we're gonna take we have to, because Jared the TIE Pilot's comment is where my brain is going on the brain thing, on the because I want to talk about, I want to see what you feel might be the most worrisome or most important thing to know, maybe even as it relates to any plug you have. But on the glass brain.
So I have to admit, so Ken knows this. I feel bad for making you get on Blue Sky today.
No.
I wasn't supposed to be here, and part of the being up really early this morning is my plans changed for tonight because I'm tired. And so I was like, I can be here. Do you want me to be here? And Ken said yes. So I had to find news, and this was like one of the lighter stories I could pick.
So yes, no. First of all, look, say until this is a multi-million-dollar empire, the Blathering media empire. You all could take a night. There's a chance I take Saturday off because I might just go get drunk in a park somewhere. I don't know, but so curious on how you turn a brain to glass and you extract. How do they figure Is it just that they're saying his brain got turned to glass and that's what happened?
So in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, his brain was turned to glass.
Okay. So I'd missed, because again, I'm slower. I thought they turned his brain into glass to somehow extract the information, and I was really afraid. That could happen. That's a thing. But no, they're saying because of what happened, his brain turned to glass.
His brain turned to glass. So technically speaking, your brain is a liquid.
I don't like it when people say that in the science world. I accept it as fact. I don't like it.
And for glass to form, liquid has to be cooled so rapidly that the molecules just suddenly freeze, as opposed to crystallizing, which is a different process.
Well, naturally, yeah.
Glass and crystallization at a molecular level are 2 different things. And so when they found,
but what's the technology behind Professor Freeze or Dr. Freeze in Batman, whatever the hell his job is? When he freezes you, what is it, somewhere between those two?
It's been so long since I saw that movie.
I'm just asking. Take 2 of these and freeze me in the morning, whatever the hell he said. Okay.
Didn't he have a gun?
Yeah, he did have a gun. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So somewhere in between that is that. But okay. So and that's okay. I think I get it now. I think I heard it wrong.
So basically they found these glass shards that was this man's brain.
Okay.
At a site. He stayed, instead of fleeing with the rest of the villagers, he stayed in bed. which is just an energy that I can get behind.
See, okay, there's the heart of the story. There's the heart of the story. It's the question. It's one of my favorite songs from the mid '90s, an era of rock I love, as everyone knows. "Surfing Brides," a song about everything's fine, about the world's gonna end, and the whole song is about. And you can't find the song anywhere. You can only find it on YouTube. But yes, that's the thing of what would you do if the world was going to end. And I think just going back to bed and taking a nap until it's over is the mood we all need.
Yeah, that is a 2025 vibe if I have ever heard one. And it's also a 2020 vibe, which is when these glass shards were discovered. So
Okay.
Basically, they did tests to ensure that it is glass, not crystals,
Okay.
by testing the point at which it remelted. And
Great.
by confirming that it is glass and not a crystallization, that confirms how quickly it had to have happened.
Okay.
And pyroclastic flow, which is lava flow, which is what killed everyone in Pompeii,
Mm-hmm.
cools too slowly to turn your brain into glass.
Okay. All right.
The only thing that could have done this is a hot cloud of ash.
Hot Cloud of Ash. Great band name too. They're going to open up for Concepts of a Plan. Okay. I think we probably spent too much time on this, but I needed to wrap my brain around it. I completely misunderstood the story. I thought it was like people starting a dinosaur island, and that they had taken this body, somehow turned the brain into glass, and then put needles in it, and we're like, aha, we figured it out.
That may have been my wording. I apologize.
No. Don't you apologize. It's this brain. That's what I heard. Okay. Quickly, Addie, what is the most disheartening thing, and what is your plug?
It's a toss-up between flu vaccines and college research experiences. As much as the NASA story bothers me, it does not surprise me.
It seems, I was going to say, a little par for the course, unfortunately.
Yeah, while they never interfered with these scientists attending these meetings during the last administration, it is the one I found least surprising, given everything that these people have said and that they stand for.
Okay.
The flu vaccine one just makes me like mad on a very basic level, because I think like flu shots are important, because I work on a college campus where the flu has run rampant this year, and I appreciate not getting deathly ill every time a student brings me a gift.
Because those students are dirty.
And that gift is a disease.
Dirty students knocking boots while they're sick. Get back into your dorm rooms, sickos.
Yeah, it's just a petri dish. Like we're lucky
like
we're
having
not
kids.
ill all the time. It's like having kids and sending them to daycare.
Yeah, every one of my friends with young kids are like, I'm sick again. Like, yeah. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. But for me, like the research experience one hits just a little bit closer to home, because like I was a beneficiary of a summer research experience. It was the first time I sort of figured out that lab science was something that I was interested in and like could see a future in. And so like the value of those experiences for these kids, I can't help but imagine the continued long-term generational effects that this is going to have, that there's some kid out there who's not going to get to have this experience, who could have changed the world. And I'm not saying that without these experiences that kid won't find a path to change the world, but like it's going to be harder. And it the barriers to access for these things, like they're already high enough, and it just makes me sad, as does the universities having to scale back and halt, in some cases, admitting kids to grad school. Like, you work real hard for stuff like that, and then it just gets torn away.
Yep. No, I feel it. And I don't think that's hyperbolic to say any one of these kids could go on to solve something. Same with, I think Michael Moore had something similar today, but talking about the immigration, like we could be deporting people from our country that are going to do wonderful things. We don't know, and it's troubling. So yeah, all right. nothing sunshiny, but you've got a plug, and I didn't forget.
I do. So next Friday, March 7th, in cities around the country and around the world, and mostly state capitals, but other cities as well. I'm going to post a link in the chat, and you can see if there's a city near you. Quite a few people have rallied together to organize Stand Up for Science 2025. So in your local area, you can come out and rally to stand up for science and be heard about this mattering.
Yeah.
So go out, support your local scientists. Like I said,
Please.
I'll post a link in the chat. There's all sorts of places that are having rallies. There's also, if they're not having a rally near you, they're encouraging people to walk out of wherever they are at noon. Especially if you're near a college campus or on a college campus.
Love it.
In solidarity. So I've known about this for weeks, but I was waiting, one, for it to get closer, and two, for there to be like actual information to give you all to support.
Love it. We're gonna look for the link. And Rich T reminds me tomorrow is also the Economic Blackout Day. I intend to keep to that. Keep to that tomorrow. You just have to remind yourself. It's like when you're like, I don't want to get on social media, then you reach for your phone with habit. Tomorrow I might need coffee creamer, and I got to think of where to get it. Go to small businesses. That's tomorrow. But your thing's next Friday. Please post a link so we can remind each other about that.
Absolutely, Ken. Thank you for having me.
You got it.
Not sleeping through the rest of the show.
Go take a nap. You've earned it. Or at this point, it's probably just bedtime. Dr. Addy, everybody. Dr. Addy, our resident professor of smart things. And I got us hung up. I said I didn't want to talk about the glass brain thing too long, but me and my dumb brain, I wanted to know more about it because I like Homer Simpson, I completely misunderstood everything about it. All right, speaking of a parent of a young child, which means he's probably sick, producer Steve is here. How you doing, buddy? How many times a week you get sick?
Oh, geez, at least once a week. She brings something home from daycare all the time.
It's the daycare, right? It's the daycare that's going to get you. Then eventually, preschool, kindergarten, or as I called it as a kid, kindergarten, and that's when the sicknesses We'll put you in a bubble.
They're just petri dishes that we just send back and forth. It's rough.
How's your petri dish? This is a picture of my petri dish.
Yeah, no, everything is good here though. I'm sorry that you're having a grouchy day, but I do hope that we can forget some of the noise and kind of escape into watching silly men in costumes, making millions of dollars, keep score of imaginary points.
I absolutely love it. And it's not like there's so many other things in the world. It's not even like I've had a bad day. I actually got things done. You ever just wake up and you just feel like Brian Bosworth thought he felt on the football field? You thought you were tough and mean, and you're just like, I'm grouchy. I'm grouchy. All right. It's not set up yet. Let's see. Let's see. Where is that? Hold on, Steve. Hold on.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
All right. So when the baseball season launches, we got that sound. We should make a sound collage for all the sports segments. Anyways, okay.
Oh yeah, no, we'll do plenty of baseball sounds. I did have one. Well, this is like sports adjacent. So yeah, so what we'll do the hockey date update. I have that at the end.
Yeah, I
had some other sports just notes before we got to that.
I love it.
So this is one thing I saw. This is a little bit of the real world sadness, but I was a journalism student, but I don't get paid to do journalism, so I don't get paid to check sources. I did see Kash Patel wants to use the UFC to train our FBI agents, and this just made me think of Armageddon and like sending oil drillers to blow up the asteroid. Why don't we just make the UFC fighters our FBI agents?
Combine it. And I saw the same thing too, and I haven't been able to see how real that is, but everything about it seemed real from the sources I was reading, the news sources I was reading. But I like this idea. Just combine it. And that asteroid that was going to hit us, that's down to 0 chance now, so we have some time to get the team up and running.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think Ben Affleck and crew are going to be able to be up to it this time, but no, I just think there's opportunity. If we're going to do this full on, like if we're just going to make the UFC fighters to FBI agents, there's absolutely some efficiencies here to be gained that this administration can take advantage of in the next 4 years.
Yes,
like if we're going to do this, just go all the way, baby.
Well, what we could do is we could take the Trump gold card immigrants and take their $5 million, and we can start this program, training, Chuck Liddell and George St. Pierre to come out of retirement and be FBI agents.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
so that was
Love
my
it.
like sports and somewhat real world sadness story. I had one more before our hockey thing, which was sports sacrifices, and this was the story I saw about Ben Johnson, and he gave a quote about that he would give up both of his testicles for a Bears Super Bowl victory. So I was curious, kind of what would you sacrifice for a Dolphins Super Bowl victory, and how crazy is that quote?
It's crazy. It's the problem that people, I think, have with sports from the outside looking in if you're not sports fans. And God bless the listeners here on the show who, came to me for Star Wars and aren't sports fans but love hanging out with me on the sports stuff. But to be honest, there's a lot of crossover. Yeah, it's crazy. Quickly, on the Dolphin thing, absolutely nothing, Steve. I've lived my entire life without knowing the Dolphins tasting victory in the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. It's been a long time since the 90s since we last won. So I don't need to give anything up. Whatever happens now is just a bonus. If they make the playoffs, I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that this year.
See, I get to be that guy and just say, well, my team won the Super Bowl, so I don't have to give up anything.
Oh, look at Steve. He's got both of his testicles today.
It's still February.
But but as far as that comment there, yeah, like if you're on the outside looking into sports, but I think there's some people across many professions, or things pursuits that have that kind of passion. I get his passion, but I think that outside looking in, it looks crazy to a lot of folks across the board. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Hit me.
Sports sacrifices. I think I'm ready to talk hockey. You want to talk?
Yeah, this is a follow-up to last week. We were going to have a date with hockey, and here we go. Our sports speed dating returns with hockey.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick recap on my hockey experience. I'm still a little lukewarm on hockey, to be honest. It isn't like my favorite thing. We had like an okay week, I would say.
Okay.
We didn't. I didn't take hockey home, so to speak. We just kind of hung out at the bar a few times. I watched the Caps Penguins game, and like last weekend, the Caps kicked ass. Alex Ovechkin is like a million years old. Alex Ovechkin is like a million years old in sports years, and has like 30 goals this season, which is
he's still
insane.
playing.
Yeah,
I remember that name.
Wild. He's still really good. Not only is he like really old and still playing, he's still really good.
Okay.
So I watched a few Caps games just because they're like the local. I kept an eye on them. They're the local team. And then the Penguins are actually the team of my youth, which is a funny story. I met Mario Lemieux once in a steakhouse, and I just remember I was like a little kid, and he smelled really, really good.
He smelled good. What did he smell like? Like some Old Spice? Like what did he smell like?
Just like he smelled. I don't know why, but it's smelled like Italian cologne. I couldn't tell you why it was Italian cologne, but it smelled like Italian cologne.
Wow. Okay.
It just had like that aura to it. It was a restaurant. There was like someone next to him was smoking a cigar. It was that kind of era where you were still like smoking cigars and cigarettes in restaurants.
Love it.
And yeah, he was in like a really fancy suit and everything. It was really cool. But so yeah, that's my Penguin story. But yeah, I'm like lukewarm on hockey. It was just okay.
Why lukewarm? What is not pulling you in? And I didn't watch any hockey this week, but I'm going back on my memories on it. What's not pulling you in?
It's just, well, my hot take about hockey.
Jared, hold on. Let me brace Jared, the Thai pilot. Who let's not forget his name is Ulete, which is the hockeyest of names. So, hit me.
I think hockey fighting's kind of stupid.
It's the fighting.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of dumb. It's not that it ruins it for me. I just think it's kind of dumb. Like I get it. Like the fact that they just like stop to like throw down and like everyone sits around, they just like punch each other at halftime. They have helmets on or gloves. I'm just
it's built into the game.
But I don't know. It's just
they have enforcer positions. Marty McSorley on the Kings was like their enforcer. He's their fighter. They need to go have a fight. He's going to go do it.
Yeah, that's just weird to me. I don't know. And I think it's just because as a fan of other sports, like the whole idea of that is so foreign. Like if the idea of like, people in basketball or football just like beating the hell out of each other would, get them thrown out and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like a weird thing. I just don't totally get, but
Okay.
I understand people are like diehard hockey fans. I'm there for you. I get
It's
it.
part of it.
But it's just,
What about the speed of the game? The speed of the
incredible.
game.
Don't get me
Yes.
wrong. These dudes are so talented. First of all, toughest athletes by far. Like they like, playing with
Okay.
broken bones and
teeth.
mouth, jaws and stuff everywhere. Their helmets are like nothing. Like no doubt there. Like believe me, I'm not questioning anything about the toughness or anything about hockey players at all. And what they do is amazing. I mean, they're skating on ice and doing things with a tiny little puck and a stick. I mean, it's crazy. They're crazy people, and it's amazing. But it's just hard to follow and get into for me. That's all.
Okay, next time Jared calls in, I'm going to ask him why hockey is life. Look, hockey, like I had said before, I watched a lot in the '90s. It didn't keep me, but it's not. I don't think it was a sport, just life. I eventually had to choose what I wanted to watch on TV. Hockey was not it, but I do enjoy the speed of the game, and when you're into it, it's a fun game to play on video game. I sometimes think, why am I playing baseball or football, even Fortnite? I should just be playing hockey. That's that Sega Genesis game in like 94, 95, the same one that's like featured in Swingers. Oh my God, one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, NHL's a good one. That's a good hockey game. I do like hockey. I probably do like playing the hockey game more than I like watching it. But again, I haven't gotten sports is so relationship based, right? So I haven't gotten attachment to a team in hockey the way I have in other sports, and I think that's part of it. I think if I really attach myself to a team, maybe I would feel differently. But
you got to know, you got to know the stories like we talked about. Addie says, I tried to understand hockey for a guy I was interested in. It didn't work out. I'm assuming both hockey and the guy. That goes hand in hand there. All right, so we'll try again with another sport, right? And then Jared's going to call. He's going to read us the right act next time, and I'm okay with that. We got a couple questions, but before I do that, we got a date for next week.
So what I want to do for the next date is I want to let the folks decide.
Oh yeah.
What so we'll kind of let some recommendations come in here, and then next week we'll say, hey, here's the date that we're going to do, and we'll introduce it.
Love this.
Well, I don't want to see what submissions are. I'll take a look at it later on, and
love this
date for next week based on what you guys want.
Absolutely love that idea there. Some engagement. I love that. Oh, first of all, LQ had a comment. This is going back to the food. I used to park next to shrimp cocktails at the CBS up front. LQ is a hero of mine. It's just that's amazing. Alex C tells a story that I've always known. It was one of the first football stories I know, but I thought I dreamed it up. Ronnie Lott did cut off part of his finger to not miss football games. I don't know. I can't remember the details. You've always heard this story too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Injured, broke it, right ever. And then he was like, cut it off so I can get back out there. When I was learning to love football, like 6th grade, late 80s, this was probably just fresh. My friend told me about it, but I thought, for years, I would tell the story, and I'm like, but did I dream that? Did that actually happen? But it did. Will McLean says, sport most improved by seeing live, baseball or hockey? Ooh. I go hockey because, number one, I love baseball anyways on TV, but hockey, it's an experience live. It's fun. I would go with Jared to, what do they play? The Garden, and watch the Bruins.
I've been to a few hockey games live. Hockey games are great live. It is easier to just know what's going on better, and the hockey crowds are so passionate and great. So yeah, baseball is just like a different thing too. Like baseball is a good social experience. You don't have to necessarily pay attention. There's just 102 games. You can kind of, everyone's kind of chilling at some point, or if you're super into it, you can sit there and keep score and do all your nerd things with the headphones in and keep all the stats and all that kind of stuff. You'll see people doing that. So yeah,
baseball. There was one time in the mid 2000s to early 2010s. Once a year, I get to go to those fancy seats in Dodger Stadium, and there was one time I spent like 3 innings inside at the bar, not even watching the game, and it was still a great experience. And I love the sport, but hockey's great. If we ever get to the point where we have BlathCon and we're doing a Blathering con, we're going to go to a hockey city, and maybe we'll go to Boston. All right, it's a little bit of a drunk city, and we'll go there. We'll watch some hockey with the whole Blathering crew because it'll be fun. It's a team thing.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, sounds like a plan indeed. We're getting into some Super Blathers questions. Steve, I appreciate you, and we'll announce our date options next week. or we'll get it next week.
I'll be back next week with our new sports date based on what's everyone's putting in the chat, the recommendations for tonight and what we've talked about before. So
absolutely love it. There you go, Steve, producer Steve, checking in with Stores. Very drunk city, you know it is. It's a whole city's a bar. The whole city's a bar. Sal Von Bacon clears up story. It wasn't during a game. It was after regular season ended, and he did it so he could play in the wild card playoff game the next week. I appreciate that. Clarified that. Chris says baseball favorite sport, but hockey without question is the best live sport. I do kind of agree with that. It's been a while since I got to go. All right, we're almost out of here, but if you got any questions, I'll take any of those. But I will start with this very generous super blather from our buddy Malcolm. Malcolm, today I mailed out your book. It went out today. Thanks for picking up a book on my website, kennapzok.com. Love to sell a couple more books before the end of the weekend. So if you need a copy of Why We Love Star Wars personalized, go ahead and head to my shop. International orders, maybe wait till the next administration, though I'm going to get James his book. Hey, Ken, as a Beatles fan, I must ask, well, what are your favorite covers of Beatles songs? I consider Cockers with a little help from my friends, and EWF's Got to Get You Into My Life. Better than the OGs. Ooh, better than the OGs. I don't know if I go that far. However, I do agree the Joe Cocker one kind of becomes its own thing in a way. And as a Wonder Years fan growing up during that era, that being the theme song Wonder Years, I absolutely love that. So to help me with that, I'm actually going to go into some of my playlists here. I got to do a search here. It's been a long time since I've done Pop Rock and Radio Live, so I got to kind of crawl back into, let's see, covers. No, I have a list that's just Beatle covers. There it is. Okay. So some of the ones, there's a, okay. The Jam, Paul Weller, the Jam, have a great version of "And Your Bird Can Sing" that I love. Driftland, who has one of my favorite songs, "Youth Is Wasted on the Young," has a great version of "Maybe I'm Amazed." I've always loved that. I love Sinatra's "Something." It's its own kind of thing. No one better say Shatner and "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." Those are some of the ones that I listen to the most. I'm scrolling through and trying to find some more. I know I'm missing some. It's upsetting me. I know I'm missing some because I had a lot of them out there. I hear there's a great forward by a hot chick for your Star Wars book. That is right. That hot chick is Jennifer Muro, who truly is one of the most beautiful people I've ever been around in my life. She did write not only a good blurb for the book, the blurb is on the front of the book. And Jenny, I almost texted you today. I was having a grumpy day, and I was like, I wonder if Muro's around. Maybe we can go to Bagel Boss and get a sandwich because I'm grumpy today. So I hope you're well. Questions? Yeah, Van just says Shatner. Yeah, so if you guys got any Beatle covers. Oh, yeah, not the Beatles. Yeah, the GNR cover of Live and Let Die is really good. The reason I'm drawing blanks, this is a great question, Malcolm. I was leaning on this playlist. This isn't the one. I've got another playlist somewhere. And I used to make mixed CDs with great Beatle covers too. There is a lot over the years. There's some Echo and the Bunnymen covers. There's a great cover of Baby You Can Drive My Car. Who did that version? Oh my God! All right. This is a great question that's going to stump me. And now I'm now like, someone made a playlist Beatle covers that are actually good. Well, let's go. Let's see if I agree with Chris Cornell, Day in Life, Across the Universe, David Bowie. Aerosmith did Come Together. Pat Benatar, Helter Skelter. Marvin Gaye did Yesterday. I'm going to listen to that after the show. Sparks did do a great I Want to Hold Your Hand. Paul Westerberg did a great Nowhere Man. That is from the I Am Sam music soundtrack. Elliott Smith did a stunning Because. That's right, from the album Figure Eight. Ooh, that was on a few of my playlists back in the days. All right, this is a great playlist. Harry Nilsson did She's Leaving Home. There's some. Oh, and yeah, another good And Your Bird Can Sing is Susanna Hoffs and Matthew Sweet. Love that. Brandy Carlisle does an awesome cover. I've Just Seen a Face. That's one of my favorite Beatles songs. I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time or place where we. All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. Big Cities Right. Fish does do the entire White album live. Love that. All right, that was a great question. And then let's get to the next questions here. I hope Jen Miro's still watching because this I need help on this one. Jared, the TIE Fighter pilot, Roulette. Sounds like he's a character in Amelie. Top 5 baseball pitches, also Deep Space Nine. Maybe here's what I'll do. If my buddy Jennifer Miro, who also says got Joe Cocker's cover, she's a Star Trek writer. She's made some Star Trek happen. If she picks like her top 3 favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine, maybe I'll watch those out of context, just to make you feel a little better, Jared. Top 5 baseball pitches. My favorite baseball pitch is the Brandon says knuckleball is the screw knuckle change. I mentioned this. I mentioned it a lot. Screw knuckle change was thrown by Neil Heaton, a left-hand pitcher with the Expos. He was like a Midland average starting pitcher. He goes to the Pirates, and a little 90s mustache, which also looks like a Paul Skeens mustache now. And he developed a pitch called the screw knuckle change. I don't even know how you throw that. And he went to the All-Star team. He suddenly had this career resurgence, and it was great. And then he kind of tapered off after that. Maybe he couldn't throw the pitch for much longer. I just have always loved them. But I do love a knuckleball. I love a submarine sidearm pitch, which essentially could be anything, curveball, slider. I do love that. In MLB The Show, a good Vulcan change. I love throwing high heaters and then maybe wasting one with a slider, and then on 1 and 2, I'm going to throw you a Vulcan change, and you're going to swing out of your shorts. You're going to spin around like you're a cartoon player. Cut fastball, says Jared. That's good. Cut fastball. And the cutter, as a Mariano Rivera fan, at least when he played for the Yankees, maybe not now based on some of the accusations and allegations out there. But when he played the cutter, him and Pettit throwing that was good. R.A. Dickey throwing 90-mile-per-hour knuckleballs was no joke. Great doc on the internet about the knuckleball. There you go. Another question here. I didn't do ads yet, but this is. I thought I favored it. Where the hell was that question? Addie does love covers from across the universe, which we know is a musical. Oh yeah, there you go. I thought I favorited it. Brandon over at formerly Fake Nerd Podcast. Of course, chance to remind me to remind all of you on some of our sponsors. I guess I should take that question down. Head over to Substack, BT McClure at Substack, btmcclure.substack.com, or hit that QR code and get entertainment news and opinions, bitching about nothing with my buddy Brandon McClure there. We'll get back to his question in a second. If you want to be a supporter at Patreon, patreon.com/Ken Napzok, you can get 2 great sets to watch, Hot Burbank Nights 2, also Hot Burbank Night 1, and a set the other night in the Yoo-Hoo Room. No shows this weekend, which I got to yell at Flappers about, but I also am handling some other things. All right, where the hell was that question? Where did that question go? I thought I favored it, and then I didn't favor it. And then when you don't favor the questions and you're grumpy and you're having a grumpy day, you lose it. There you go. Okay. Brandon asks this. Do you still read comics, or did you fall off a bit? If you're a G.I. Joe guy, I can't remember before, there's a new series to check out. Ooh, that's interesting. G.I. Joe comics, they always relaunch the series, and there's been some really fascinating relaunches over the years. There was one that was very real world, where Cobra 1 and G.I. Joe kind of became a terrorist organization, but it was kind of like terrorists in the sense of, well, the Cobra's calling us that, but really we're freedom fighters, we're rebels. It was great, and I think it just ended. There was a couple relaunches in 2013 when I was producing and shooting Tiffany Smith Stacked on her YouTube channel. She kind of got me back into comics, some of the Star Wars ones, which are no longer canon with Dark Horse. But then that time they launched a G.I. Joe one, and I was really excited with that. So, no, to answer your question, Brandon, I did fall off only because I ran out of space and I just couldn't. I just couldn't keep up, and the cost was, especially when you're saving your allowance money, and I would drive over to first I would drive over to Earth 2 Northridge, which was a little long. I don't live or work over there anymore, but I'd head over there, occasionally run into you, Brandon, and then I pick up the comics. Then they closed that shop, unfortunately, and then I went to the Earth 2 Sherman Oaks, which technically is closer, but took me longer to get to and harder to find parking. And I got to the point where I was plopping down $140 on comics a month, and I still have a stack of Star Wars comics from my last purchase like 2 years ago that it's sitting in my living room in bags, and I haven't had a chance to read them. And it wasn't anything with the comics. I miss it. I think comic book covers are art. I'd hang some of them if I could. Maybe I would. I have an entire Star Wars collection, like 6 long boxes of Star Wars comics going back to 2014 on. Saga, which I've fallen off on it. I don't have it anymore. I have to pick up some trades. Saga is one of them. There's two. Any kind. They put out a lot of good James Bond comics. I have a ton of them out there. Over the years, I've donated a lot to Jason Inman. I don't think he does it anymore, but old pal Jason Inman used to do a comics charity drive every year for Operation Gratitude. Package up the comics and send them to soldiers over the stationed all around the world. I would do that and got rid of a lot of them there too. So now I do have a ton of comics. And I don't have a pool anymore, which is it's depressing. Did I finish Reign of Empire? No. I'm reading Reign of Empire about 1 chapter every 3 days pace, but it's going good. And there was a scene. Reign of Empire is a first part of a trilogy, new Star Wars trilogy by Alexander Freed, and it is 3 weeks after the fall of the Republic and the start of the Empire. It is shockingly too close, stunningly too close to things going on here. Not just in a sweeping manner, but just some details that are like, whoa. I just finished a chapter early on in the book, maybe about the 120-page mark. That's a Saw Gerrera heavy chapter. And Alexander Freed writes Saw Gerrera so well. You hear Forrest Whitaker reading it, or saying it. It's really good stuff. So I am happy to have you all check that out, and I'm going to finish it soon. Jared says never gotten to G.I. Joe. Well, we're not going to Boston anymore. I'll tell you that much. All right. Brandon has a good question. When did the slider get rebranded as a sweeper? I hate it too. I never want to fight change in sports. Sometimes change is needed, but it's a goddamn slider. It's not a sweeper. All right. I was going to get on out of here, but I see a caller, and we haven't had this caller on the show in a couple weeks, and I miss him, and I want to talk to him. We're going to bring him to the show now here. So let me set up the right layout. Brady, 898-4M. Kyrie, how are you here? How are you doing? Welcome back to the show.
Hi, Ken. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's okay. I thought you just didn't like me anymore. It's all right. Even though you were here in chat every week, I just thought you didn't want to hear my sweet voice in your ears.
Nah, I've just been busy,
I hear you.
I'm affected by the academic stuff, but we'll deal with that later.
Another time, James, another time. Okay, well, what can we deal with right now with you?
Yeah, for me, I've just been watching a lot of basketball. I've been enjoying Luka on the Lakers.
Oh, I bet you have. I don't even know I'm being
spoiled.
Antagonistical on that. Yeah.
Nah, you should be. Every other fan base hates this fan base, which I don't blame them.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah.
Okay, that's good. But you've been deserved. So you're fighting through school and all of the problems in the world. You can sit down and watch your Lakers.
Yeah.
What's your Laker? If you're, I'm not talking about the games on in the background, but if you're like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm watching a Laker game. What's your snack of choice?
I don't snack, honestly. I
Get outta here.
too invested in the game.
Wow. Okay, I respect this. I respect this. Okay.
I turn on a live stream, have some chat, with some other people, and we just rant about like what covers. I'm a nerd. Okay.
I know you're a nerd. I've met you, and that's why you're here. But you're a sports nerd too. Let me ask you this question: what do you think Jared the Thai pilot eats when he binge watches Deep Space Nine every weekend?
Huh. I think just stay with the classics. Some popcorn. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, some space popcorn. Okay.
Yeah,
All
space
right.
popcorn.
Okay. Just wondering. All right. Okay. Cool. So you're hanging out. You're catching up. I love this.
Yeah. So I wanted to highlight. I think this is your last stream during Black History Month.
It is. That's right. We got a short week.
Black History. In terms of basketball.
Love it.
And we all know, the integration fight with baseball, right? They made a couple movies. Jackie Robinson, I have
Right.
a jersey,
Mhm.
favorite baseball player of all time.
Love it. Jackie is amazing.
And so I wanted to highlight the integration fight with basketball, which honestly doesn't get as much spotlight. I mean, to be fair, basketball only existed professionally for like 1 year before they integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was researching this, and
Okay.
I could not find any sources. There's something about basketball. They don't record their history very well.
Yeah, there's something about the tracks. I wouldn't say I've had that thought in my head before your conversation here, but yeah, it seems like even with like football, NFL's been well documented, but a lot of times I'm just thinking of in terms of stats. Even we'll be like, we didn't even think to record that stat. We didn't even know what that stat was, and so just something about basketball that tracks like that.
Except there's like those wild Wilt Chamberlain stats, which I will get to actually.
Which one? The scoring or the scoring?
Averaging 50 points. It's just insanity.
Okay.
But yeah. So this actually involves the Lakers too, which I'm actually in terms of the wrong side of history, I would say. This was the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah.
And so basically, the first year of professional baseball, there was the Basketball Association of America, BAA, and the National Basketball League. I believe the Lakers won the championship, so they were like basically the best team in the world. And then you have and of course, it was an all-white league, basketball all-white, kind of crazy was that.
Right.
And you had other teams around America, like the Harlem Globetrotters. And nowadays we know the Globetrotters as they're like the Savannah Bananas, exhibition game. They do crazy stuff.
Or the Savannah Bananas are like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yes. The Harlem Globetrotters came first.
Yes.
And so this is the time, basketball is new. They're trying to promote everything. And the Harlem Globetrotters, being from Harlem, they're an all-black team. And they decide, okay, we'll have an exhibition match between the champions and this team that doesn't really play seriously. That's what they described at the time. They dribble on the floor, they do crazy shots. They dunk. Back then dunking was looked down upon.
Right.
I don't know if that has something to do with the old rules, like in baseball,
It seems like cheating, right? You're just going to jump up and put the ball straight in there? Come on, you coward. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, there's something like, bat flipping, people don't like it, but just like, dunking is a legit strategy.
Yeah.
But that was looked down upon, but the Globetrotters dunked. And okay, let's have this matchup between the championships Lakers, Minneapolis Lakers, and the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
And everyone was expecting, this is like if the Savannah Bananas were going to face the Dodgers, like.
Got it. I'm all for it. Yeah.
And basically the Lakers had their first superstar basketball player. His name was George Mikan. He was like
George
a 6'10" dude.
Yep.
The first time you could say there's a center. He basically invented the center position in basketball, the big man.
Yep.
And so, it's like people didn't take it really seriously. And this basketball taking place in 1948, the Harlem Globetrotters were in like a tight race with the Lakers. The championship Lakers was tied 48, I think. Was it? It was a low scoring game because they didn't have a shot clock, but it was like something low. But it was
sneakers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the championship Lakers, that was tied.
Okay.
And then They have the ball. They gave it to a man named Irma Robinson.
Mhm.
And he literally, the last 30 seconds, he was doing the Globetrotter things. He was dribbling on the floor, doing all this stuff, trying to save the ball for last possession.
Right.
And then just with a couple seconds on the clock, he just lets the ball fly and gets the game winner.
Wins it.
And wins the game. The exhibition team beats the championship Lakers. And that
And more than just an exhibition team.
Yeah.
We know the connotations. Yeah.
Yes. And so they beat the champions, an upset of the century, basically.
Yeah.
And that this game cannot be understated. How like it kind of broke the perceptions of who like who you let in, because of course you let in the best people. And this Globetrotters team had actual NBA talent on it. They had Chuck Cooper, who was the first black player on the Celtics. We have a stereotype of the Celtics fans, but the Celtics were actually pretty progressive in terms of representation.
Which is not the same thing we say about the Red Sox, but that's all right.
It's the fans.
Yeah. The fans are fine, but the team had a
team. Yeah. Oh, the Reds.
Yeah.
And some things to say it back in the day.
Yeah. All right.
And then so they also had Nat Clifton, who was the first black player for the Knicks, and Hank Dezzoni, who would play for the Hawks.
Love it.
And then of course we know that the Globetrotters had talent such as Wilt Chamberlain, who's in the GOAT conversation. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain, he has these crazy stats. If you share a stat with Wilt Chamberlain, you did something crazy.
Yeah, particularly some stats off the court he had too. But I absolutely he was a game
something
changer.
about 20,000. You can look it up.
Jared says we don't talk about those years. You mean we don't talk about those decades? All right. Anyways, but don't worry, the Yankees were pretty bad too. All right.
Yeah. And then of course the Lakers came a bit later. They had their first black player, Bob Williams, in 1955.
55. Okay.
So it took them. I mean, it's Minneapolis. It's
a
bit of a demographic thing over, but I wanted to highlight the talents of Elgin Baylor, who was the first black superstar on the Lakers. Elgin Baylor, 6'6", small forward. He's what we call a wing style player. He was the first person to put the dunk on the map to make a good basketball. He would run the break, just jump and dunk. And his most famous move was just to jump, and he would hang a little bit. It was like in the air and then shoot.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Elgin Baylor inspired Dr. J. Dr. J inspired Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan inspired Kobe, and Kobe inspired LeBron. And
I was going to say you, but okay. Yeah.
Nah, I'm too short. I'm not 6'6", 6'8". There's an entire lineage of that starts with Elgin, and
which starts with the Globetrotters.
This
is great.
The all-white Lakers. And
is there a good documentary out there on the Harlem Globetrotters that I'm not aware of? This would be a fascinating doc. What you're talking about.
I watched this documentary as a kid in elementary school, and I can't find it. I don't know what's going on.
If only there was a device that connected us to an information superhighway where we can dig this up. I think I'm going to do this after the show. Because you're telling, I know, I joke, but there's an age and generation difference between us. But I grew up with a lot of these names being not as old as they are now. So Mike Kidd and Elgin Baylor, I grew up with those who were kind of like already retired and off the court, of course. But it was like
not 20 years ago.
Yeah, not as far off. But so I grew up with a love of the Globetrotters, not an understanding of what really it was or their history, and their history is important. And what you're talking about, that's an important game. I'm surprised there isn't a movie about that.
There should be, honestly. They made one about Jackie Robinson. This is the integration of...
And and Steve is right. One of the reasons I knew about the Globetrotters to the level that I did, number one, they had appeared on Gilligan's Island, I think one of the Return to Gilligan's Island shows. And then they had a Saturday morning TV show, a cartoon.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. They were in Scooby-Doo. Vermont Mike knows too. They were popular. It was well known.
I want to highlight Jared's comment. Bill Russell is GOAT. I think Bill Russell is underrated in like the GOAT conversation. I don't partake in that conversation, but Bill Russell.
Is it because you're a Laker fan?
He's my favorite Celtic. I'll put it.
Okay, you hear that, Jared? He's my favorite Celtic. Okay.
There's a reason why his numbers are tied league wide. Like LeBron stopped wearing 6 because Bill Russell his passing, the great Bill Russell.
Yeah.
And he was the first black NBA MVP, the first black coach. He was a player coach actually, and he won 2 championships as a player coach, which is insane to think about.
I wish they still did that. That'd be kind of fun. They were on Gilligan's Island. Was it the original Jared or the return to Gilligan's Island? Okay.
What even is Gilligan's Island?
What's that?
What even is Gilligan's Island?
I'm going to have you say that one more time just so I can comprehend it. What is Gilligan's Island?
Okay. What is Gilligan's Island?
Gilligan's Island was a sitcom that ran on, might have been CBS, but doesn't matter, for about three seasons, maybe 4. One black and white season, then it went color.
Black and white, yeah.
Sherwood Schwartz created it. And it was about castaways getting stranded on an island. They were just going out for a 3-hour tour, if you believe the tales. And they were stuck on the island, never rescued. And then it wasn't like a popular TV show, but it was one of the first to blow up in syndication. So even though it was in the 60s, I grew up watching it and loving it. Watched it about 4 times a day every summer. And then they did a couple reunion or return tos and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? Tubi. Do you have access to Tubi?
No.
Tubi has all the episodes. Now, I will say this, Brady. The show was made in the early 60s. And let's just say there's some moments in the show that don't stand up to the test of time.
I've watched some 60s shows. There was the one Get Smart.
Get Smart, yes.
You're just having a good time and bam.
Yep.
Sometimes it hits you like that.
There's a couple episodes. There's one there's a couple episodes. So maybe just you skip those ones when they come up. But Vermont Mike went right to the one I was thinking of. There's a one with a Japanese sailor who did not know World War II had ended, and let's just say it's not the best depiction of a Japanese sailor that I'd want in the world. But it's a great show, and I did love it. But anyway,
I watched that episode in the Clone Wars, and they probably made it more modern. Maybe. Was it Clone Wars or was it? Oh no, it was Rebels. It was the one where the droids didn't know the clone. Yeah. It's It's let's just say they handled it much better on Rebels. So anyways, Brady, I appreciate your call. Great way to end Black History Month here on the show. Really appreciate this. And yeah, you're getting me thinking. I'm going to go see what Harlem Globetrotters information is out there to take in. Yep. And shout out Cal. I hope I did all right.
Yeah, you don't you worry about Kingsport Cal. I got Kingsport Cal handled. All right, you're doing the great work.
Grade me harshly.
Cal loves you. He loves us all. Brady, thanks for calling in, buddy. I'm glad you checked in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. 898-4M, Brady, one of the sweetest souls I know, and I'm glad he's here to share that valuable information with you. We are out of here tonight. I am not as grumpy. You know why? You know why I'm not as grumpy? I got to hang out with all of you and talk about Gilligan's Island sports. Science, not all good news. As of right now, I don't know if I'm going to be here Saturday. We might take Saturday off, but we'll see how I feel. We still could miss y'all. I love hanging out with y'all. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for Super Chat, Super Blathers. Thanks for being a channel member. Head to patreon.com/Ken Napzok to support me over there as well. More information coming soon on something related to stand-up comedy over there. That's it. We'll see you. I'm going to go eat some dinner. Bye.